Dogecoin is currently sitting at around 30 cents, and above that it looks like we have no resistance. I put this tweet out earlier on saying 44 cents is probably the next major areas for us to target. So in this video we're going to have a look at firstly BTC, just to have a look at how the market is going, which way we think it's going to head, and then we'll have a look at Dogecoin in both the USDT and the BTC pairings, and check out a few key levels, whether that be buy zones or sell zones. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and let's crack on. So starting off with Bitcoin, as you can see, we're currently back at the area of support at around 46k. Pops all the way up to around $48,200, and we have had a rejection. I mean, look at this end timer. We've had one bit of a retracement. That was a 38% retracement. We'll come back down, tested that moving average 50 region, and now we are pushing back up. To be honest, at some stage you've got to think that we are going to get a pullback, whether that's now or we're going to use 46k support and go up and test this area of resistance here, which is quite a solid level at around 51k. I mean, I'm in more favour of a push up towards 51k first and then get a rejection, but we need to remember this is quite a key level. If we do lose 46k, which we have at minute, I mean, if you look onto the lower time frames, we've dropped right through it a couple of times, we've gone back up, and then we've pretty much Bart Simpsoned it there, and we are pretty much hanging on that area of support now. Just depends how we close. If we do close below this 46k region, I think we might get a bit of a sell-off into Monday, but it's one of them, isn't it? It's a bit of a guesstimation. You would expect at some stage, like I say, we will get a pullback, and I think we might come back down and retest this moving average 50 somewhere around 41k around here somewhere. And if you look at that in terms of Fibonacci level from this entire move here, and that's all the way down at this 618 level, so 41,334 could be a decent level that we go down to retest, tap that golden ratio, and then pop back up around that moving average 50. If you just give a bit of a guesstimation where that's going to go, I mean, you could see us filling orders here before that next leg up. I put a tweet out of a week saying that potentially we're going to head into a bearish September. It's notoriously not the best month for trading across the board, so just be aware of that. This month, albeit great, we could have a bit of a selling pressure in September, but then that's giving up for that end of Q4 pump, which I think will happen. I think that the next 4 or 5 months are going to be massive for cryptocurrency, so hold on to your bags. So that in terms of BTC, I am waiting for a correction. Whether that's at this range or up at 51k, I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll wait for the whales to see what goes on there. Right, so taking a look at Dogecoin. I've not covered Doge for a while. Like I say, we'll look at USDT pair first and look at BTC. So a lot of altcoins now have flipped above that moving average 50, which for me gives a good indication of a long-term position. As you can see, when we was on that rise, pretty much from here, the 28th of January, we was above it all the way through until we had that major drop below it. Once we did drop below it, we did that retest, and then we dropped back down, and then we've been trading under that pretty much since June. So it's been about 8-9 weeks of bearish activity. We've come down and tested area of support here, which pretty much we tapped at 3 times and then pushed on, and ever since that bottom tap there, we've done so far a close to 100% recovery, and a lot of alts are looking very similar to that. For me, like I say, we are now in a bullish term. One thing I want to just make a note of is that if I'm ever looking for some long trade positions, if you're looking for swing positions or investments, one good key indicator is that we are above the 50, and the money flow here, which is currently in the red, is in the green. As you can see, during this entire pump here was in the green. That means less money was coming in buys. It was mainly sells. When this does tick to the upside, which it looks like it's going to soon, you can expect that we'll get some further growth. So I just want to put a little bearish scenario on this first. If you look at that, was a move there which didn't really give us much feedback or data. If this is a main move here, so if you're just putting a bit of a bearish flip on this, same as BTC, we'll go from the bottom to the top. We've currently been up to 31 cents. If we're looking for retracements, 2 levels to potentially look at buying. So we have 26 cents, and then down here around 23 cents. Could be a nice area for you to pick up some Doge if it does drop. Mainly though, I'm looking upwards, and in terms of a bullish perspective, we've not got much trading within this area. I mean, it's pumped up here, and then we've only had, I mean, this bit of trading activity around here within that area. We see some key resistance up here. If you look at this wick here on the 16th of April, then these 2 wicks here, so a wick there as well, which rejected. 2 wicks of support here in May. Come back down, dropped up, retested this same area again at 45 cents. So that to me is a clinical area. And I think that if we do continue this bullish momentum, I think that is a first major area. If you're looking to either accumulate or take some profit, I think that is a main area to look at targeting. So be wary. If you're wanting to buy in, you may not get this retracement because things are looking bullish. But like I say, things could drop in September. So I would still place some buys here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe buy some at this price now. 30 cents still decent. And then ladder a couple of down to these regions and see if you can DCA that stack that you buy. And then just hold on. And if you're looking to TP, 45 cent looks like a key area. And once you do bust above that, then there's no resistance all the way up to the all-time highs at 74 cents. Seen a lot of calls for $1 Dogecoin, and if you look back 6 months ago, you'd have thought not a chance in hell, but there's a lot of people behind Dogecoin. There's a lot of young investors. Not so much my cup of tea. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of it because it's nothing special. It's just a fork of Litecoin, but long term, this has got eyes on it. It's all over the place, and with Elon Musk backing it, I mean, I've seen Doge to $3. It's not out of the question, that in my opinion, but I reckon $1 could be a very, very sensible target to look for if you're looking to take some profit off the table at some stage. So I think we may get a little correction shortly, but we have broken out of that downtrend now, and we are trading back up about 50. The only bearish scenario I see is something short time, you're talking over next week, where we do get a retracement. But that's the only bearish way I can see it. I think now, across the board, across Bitcoin, across altcoins, I think we're going to start pushing on over the next 3 or 4 months and buy in and hodl, because asset appreciation is king. Buy something out of these prices, hold on for 3 or 4 months, and your returns will be absolutely massive. So that's that pair pretty much covered. I'm thinking upwards, maybe short-term, slight bearish scenario, but that's just a bit of a guesstimate. And looking at a Doge BTC pair, currently at 657 Satoshis. I've actually just reclaimed that moving average 50 now, which for me, again, is a nice bullish sign. Let me just remove this previous TA here and get rid of that down there. Can't really see it. I've changed my chart since. So yeah, we're above that 50 now. In terms of where we've been, that looks like that was a key level of support down there. So I'll just mark it up right at that bottom. As you can see, loads of wicks in there. That was that area that we traded in before we did lift off. And then we've double bottomed there, and we are starting to push on. Bullish indicator, I say, is that we're above that 50. So that is a good long-term level to achieve up there. Money flow, still quite in the red, but it's not doing as well as... not been doing as well as USDT pair, which is bang on 30 cents a minute. This is currently 657. I remember at the beginning of the year, where was we? Let's go back to January. We're trading down at 41 Satoshi. I remember 40 because I was thinking, right, it's a good time to buy some now. Imagine if you bought some down there, because the amount of growth that we've done is just insane. That massive pump there and that massive pump there. That's when Elon's been banging tweets out. But if you're looking for some buys, one thing I'm just a little bit wary about is I think Bitcoin may potentially try to regain some market dominance. If that does happen, obviously USDT pairs will go up. But short term, the BTC pairs for Satoshis may get a little bit scrambled. So let's just have a look at this in terms of levels on a fib. If you're looking for some buys in Satoshis, maybe look at 550. And honestly, I would ladder them all the way down to 474. That could be a decent area if BTC does go on a charge and tries to regain some dominance there. So maybe ladder some down, 550 down to 450. Within that range, I think it could be a good, decent level to potentially target if what I say happened. But if they don't get filled, then the first major area looking to break up, if we look at this area here, I'm just going to box it off. So if you look at these 2-3 wicks there, all the way through with multiple wicks in that area, and then we've got quite a few rejections off that. So that's the first major area to break through. That's around 750 Satoshis. If we do manage to flip that to support, then we've got another couple of key levels up here, 896, 1100, and the all-time high is up there at 1,290 satoshis. Who knows where this can go? I mean, like I say, a lot of people are backing it. TikTok generation are all over it. So if you're looking to buy in satoshis, could be a decent level now before it does start going on that massive run that I'm expecting over the course of the next few months. So a few buy zones there. If you're looking to accumulate and sell, maybe sell some at 770 and then 896. But let's monitor that price over the next few weeks and see what goes on. And we will step back and jump into some more price analysis on Dogecoin at some point in the near future. That's going to do it for today's video. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button. I'll catch you next time.